Westminster's Confession, chapter 5.5. The most wise, righteous, and gracious God does oftentimes leave for a season his own children to manifold temptations and the corruptions of their own hearts, to chastise them for their former sins, or to discover unto them the hidden strength of corruption and deceitfulness of their hearts, that they may be humbled. Oh, this is so dense, right? But it's a lot of powerful doctrines and thoughts in it. Let me just expound. First of all, it is interesting. Westminster's Confession theology often uses language that shows the supremacy of God in the most profound way. You see, it says the most wise, righteous, and gracious God. How many people actually approach God, even on Sunday worshiping God, to acknowledge, to even see that God is such? Who is the God you worship on Sunday morning when you go to church? It is the most wise. It is the most righteous. It's the most gracious. The three adjectives, there are many more, but let's just pick up these three, because Westminster's Divine, they actually use these three to describe how God deals with our inner sins, inner pride, inner corruption. That this is talking about children of God. This is talking about Christians. Okay, so because God is so gracious, people love that. God is so righteous. People sort of like that. Legalistic people love that, but you know the the one that licentious is or too much grace is everything fly. But God is gracious, but God is gracious, but God is also righteous. Righteous and holiness go together, right? So you say God is gracious, so He may let me go. He may let me go on any accounts of sins of the wickedness or evil things that I've done, because He's so gracious. No, but He's also righteous, but He's also wisest. So let's see what it says. So this is really fascinating, because He's God for a season. This is important. For a period of time, God often leave for a season His own children to manifold temptations. God allow us to face temptations for a period of time, to expose what is inside of us, to correct us, to humble us. You see, sometimes you say, wow, God, why did you protect me from this temptation? You know what? God said, I want you to face those temptations. Because if you don't face those temptations, you never grow. You don't know what is the problem is at your heart. This is really good. So for God, the Westminster says here that for a season, God often leave His own children to manifold temptations, the corruption of their own hearts, the corruption in the hearts, to chastise them, or to discipline them, or to rebuke them, or to reprove them. So basically, God wants us to face temptations and the corruptions of our hearts, in order to chastise us, or to discipline us, to reprove us for our former sins. Westminster says former sins, or to discover unto them the hidden strength of corruption, deceitfulness of our hearts. Because, sometimes they've been a Christian for quite a while, you've forgotten that there's the former sins that are still germinating once in a while. And so that you and I, so that we know the hidden strength of corruption of those sins and deceitfulness of those sins in our hearts. So that because there is some potency, power of those corruptions, okay, in our hearts, and also the former sins in our hearts, the hidden strength of corruption and deceitfulness of our hearts, so that we may be humbled. Through the process of being tempted and going through hard times, God may humble our hearts. Okay, so that's video 1.